All right, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. It's July 25th, 2015, and today we have the pleasure of having with us the #1 ranked heavyweight in Canada, and he is also the Canadian heavyweight champion, Dillon Big Country Carman. How you doing today, Dillon?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing good. That sounds better and better every time I hear it.
Well, maybe next time we do an interview, it'll be world champion.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. We're working on our way.
So, just let me get you out there a little bit to some of the U.S. fans that might not be familiar with you. Like I said, you are heavyweight. Your pro record is actually 8 wins, 7 knockouts, 2 losses, right?
Yes, sir.
And now, are you in, how do you say it, Ruddock, Ontario, Canada?
It's Ruddock.
Ruddock?
That's my hometown. That's where I was born, hometown, grew up there, and now I live in Toronto, Canada.
Okay. Now, you started kind of late in boxing, and that's obviously probably why your record's not as high as a lot of the other heavyweights. You actually started boxing at the age of 17, but you actually won 2 championships at the Texas State University, right?
Yeah, actually, I did get a little bit of a late start. I was kind of into hockey more as a kid, but yeah, I moved to Texas when I was about 17 years old and got 2 Texas State championships, yeah.
All right, and let's talk about the hockey thing real quick. You actually had a scholarship for hockey before any of the boxing, and you did hockey for 3 years down in Florida?
Yeah, you kind of surprised me with your research there on that one, but yeah, I did have a hockey scholarship down there, played with the IHL Under-17 League, and had a lot of fun down there in Florida, yeah.
Okay, so explain to me how a guy goes from having a hockey scholarship, playing hockey, to switching to boxing.
Okay, so I played hockey from the time I was a little kid, growing up in Canada. That's what we do here. We play a lot of hockey. So after my scholarship ran through, those 6 months, about 6 months after, I was going to make some moves and play for some bigger teams down in Florida. And they actually changed the rule. You had to be an American citizen in order to play on any USA affiliated team. So any USA league, like anything to do with the USA Hockey Association, you had to be an American citizen. So they actually kicked me off the team that I had a scholarship on about 6 months before my scholarship was through.
Okay, so then how do you switch to boxing?
So then I become a beach bum. I'm in Florida. I'm 5 minutes away from the West Palm Beach. It's a beautiful place to live. Lots of pretty women and a beautiful beach. And I became a beach bum. And it was funny. Every day I drove to this beach, I saw a boxing gym, and I saw these big bay windows, and these kids were in there going hard, boxing. And my father, my grandfather, my great uncle was a New York State champ. So I have boxing in my blood. So I see these kids training every day. Every time I go to the gym, every time I go to the beach, I drive by this gym. And you know what? One day I just went into the gym and started boxing. When I was 17, I walked into this gym, and the rest is history.
Okay, and you actually didn't you didn't turn pro until 2011, right?
Yeah, I had quite kind of an up and down amateur career. Life sometimes gets in the way of boxing and stuff, but yeah, I ended up having about 70 amateur fights, and then I turned pro in 2011, June 24th.
Okay, so what do you consider your style of boxing?
Classic. I'm a classic power puncher, boxer, power puncher. Chris, I try to emulate a lot of Larry Holmes. He's one of my favorite boxers of all time, Larry Holmes. So I try to emulate a lot of Larry Holmes. Me being 6'6", 240, I can use my length, I can use my reach, and then I turn that leverage, I turn that power on them. So I'm a classic boxer, power puncher.
Okay, do you have any superstitions or rituals or habits that you do before a fight?
No, that I throw all that stuff out the window. A long time ago, my first amateur coach told me, you should be able to go into a fight, wake up, come out of bed, and be ready to fight with no superstition, no listening to music, no none of this stuff. So, I'm born ready to fight.
Okay, is there anybody that inside and outside the ring that inspires you in boxing?
like I said, Larry Holmes is one of those guys that he was the most, I would think, one of the most underrated heavyweights. Except he held the title for 20 fights, over 20 fights. I like to emulate Larry Holmes a lot, and I have a lot of respect for him. But anybody who gets in the ring is willing to put their life on the line. I have a lot of respect for. So.
Okay, now go ahead.
I was going to say that's kind of a tougher question because there's so many people. There's so many people in the sport of boxing that are easy to get on their team and easy to root for. So it's hard to. That's a hard question.
Okay, well, let's say somebody in your life. Then, is there somebody in your life outside the ring that inspires you, that pushes you every day?
Honestly, man, my whole family, we don't come from a beautiful place with money or anything like that. So, honestly, my whole family, the struggles and tribulations that we've been through as a family, they push me a lot.
Okay, now I've noticed on your record that all your fights are up in Canada. So, so the U.S. fans get a chance to see you hopefully soon. Is there any talks about you coming down here to the United States and possibly fighting on a card down here? Is there any fighters in the heavyweight division that you're looking to fight anytime soon down here in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, we're always trying to move up the ranks and do this. I'm actually the second youngest as far as fights go. I'm the second youngest heavyweight to ever win the Canadian title. I only have 10 fights right now, so we're patient. I'm a young heavyweight, so we're just being patient. And when the time comes, we'll be down in the States and making some noise.
Okay, now I've heard recently that you possibly have a fight September 12th. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. We've been training hard now for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, and going hard, getting ready for the fight. I'm really excited. Big opportunity.
Okay, do you have an opponent yet?
Yeah, actually his name's Ruddock.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was actually just going to bring him up. So I'm glad that is your opponent. Because I did not know that was your opponent, and I was going to bring him up because I know a lot of the Canadian fans have been looking for that fight and hoping for that fight to happen, and I was going to actually ask you if there was any talks and you possibly fighting him soon, and I guess you just answered that question.
Yeah, Razor's been making a kind of comeback, and he's had 2 fights now in his comeback, and I've been watching him and doing my thing, waiting for him to get up to the spot where he gets the title shot. And I'm really excited. I can't wait for the opportunity to fight him. He's a legend, right?
So now, are you defending your title against him?
Yeah, I'll be defending my title.
Okay, and just so the fans do know, like I said, you are ranked number 1 in Canada. Razor Ruddock is actually ranked number 3. Even though he is 51 years old, he does have a record of 40 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw, and he has fought some of the top names in the sport.
Oh, he's legit. Yeah, even though he's an older man, I'm not going to overlook or take him for granted. He's still a tough guy, wily veteran. And he can still throw that left uppercut. Look out.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like I said, the guy has the experience on you. Obviously you have the age on him, the youth, but he has the experience. He's fought the top guys in the sport. You can go down his resume and almost every guy on there is recognizable. So, how do you go into the ring with this guy when you only have 8 wins and 2 losses and get rid of this guy?
You want to know something, John? One of these people, it doesn't matter who you put in front of me. If I put myself and get myself into the top shape that I can be in, it's not going to matter who's in front of me. They're going to be in a world of hurt. So now, he's just, he's a tough guy. He's been there with some chance. He's been, top in the division, but that was a long time ago.
No, I agree with you. It's a nice name on your resume. I'll definitely give you that.
And when you look at his losses, he's only lost to the top. He's only lost to the Mike Tysons, the Lennox Lewis's, the Tommy Morrisons, right? So in order for me to get my name beside those names, that's gonna be something else. Yeah, it's gonna be big. Thank you.
So now, have you had TV fights up there in Canada before?
Yeah, I'm not sure. TSN, of course, right?
Yep.
The station. Yeah, all my fights have been on TSN. The last few fights.
Okay, so obviously the Canadian fans are familiar with you, but how do you get your name out there more so that the U.S. fans are more familiar with you? Do you think you're going to have to come down here and fight?
Yeah, Yeah, eventually we're gonna have to branch out. Absolutely. Everybody says that, oh, you've only fought in Canada, but I had 70 fights, although they were my amateur fights, but that's where you gain experience, right? I had 70 fights tough, in tough with some guys, people down in Texas, Los Angeles, New York. So I fought all over the United States, and I'm just bringing that experience into my pro career, right?
So what is one of your favorite memories so far in your pro career?
That's hands down winning a Canadian heavyweight title.
So, do you follow the heavyweight rankings? I mean, are you keeping your eye on certain fighters down here in the U.S.?
I keep my eye on, Deontay Wilder, right?
Well, I think everybody's keeping their eye on him, but...
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to do, like I said, I have confidence in myself and in my talent. So if I put myself into good shape, there's not too many men in the world that can hang with me. So, I don't really try to focus on anybody, what they're doing or what he's doing or that. I just try to focus on really getting myself into peak shape,
Okay, do you have any activities outside of boxing that you like to do that have nothing to do with the sport? I know that you like to do fishing and golf.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge golf guy. I love golf, and outdoors. Big country's my area, so I'm a hunter, fisher. I love fishing.
So tell me, what does it mean to you to be a pro boxer, though? Like you just brought up earlier, that boxing is in your blood. So tell me what that means to you.
What boxing means to me? I love boxing. There's nothing. As a human race, we have to convince ourselves that putting a basketball inside of a net is meaningful, or putting a hockey puck in a net, there's meaning to that. But as a human race, you don't have to convince yourself of anything. Boxing is as real and as raw as it gets. We've been fighting since before we could speak English or before we could talk or anything. We were fighting, right? So you don't have to convince yourself. When two men go into the ring and put their lives on the line, that's as real as raw as it gets, and I love it.
Okay, so obviously you're aware that Al Heyman and Greg Cohen have been bringing, boxing back to the local networks, the free TV. It's bringing more fans out. It's getting some of these fighters that are up and comers out there and being exposed more to the fans. Have you been contacted by anybody to possibly be on one of these shows soon?
No, unfortunately I haven't, but I'm open and willing for any opportunity, right? But no, I haven't been contacted as of late. Supposedly I heard, through the grapevine that Al Heyman might be doing a show here in Canada in the upcoming months, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, I mean, that would be great for the Canadian fans and hopefully you. I mean, I personally would like to see you on a show down here to get you a little bit more exposure to the U.S. fans.
Yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Like I said, I would take any opportunity that's open. I'm a born fighter, so I can't wait for that. Patience is a virtue, right? It'll come. I'll get down there.
So tell me something that your boxing fans don't know about you.
I don't know what to say. I'm just your everyday guy. I just work, and before boxing or before I won this title, the heavyweight title, I was just working every day, training and trying to make a name for myself. Small town kid, just following a dream, basically.
Okay, do you have a career outside of boxing?
Honestly, I'm a jack of all trades. Before I won the heavyweight title, I was roofing, doing drywall, carpentry. I'm a jack of all trades. I work well with my hands.
Do you consider yourself a silent boxer? You just go in the ring, you take care of your work in the ring, or do you like to kind of engage in trash talk with your opponents?
No, not at all. I have the utmost respect for anybody who gets in the ring, and I don't do the trash talk at all. I'm one of those guys that's just gonna show you in the ring.
Do you have a favorite boxing movie?
Oh well, geez. I don't know, Gladiator. Do you know the movie Gladiator?
Yeah.
Not with Russell Crowe.
No, I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, that's my favorite boxing movie of all time.
With Cuban Gooding Jr., right?
Yeah.
I actually own the movie.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah, I wish I could find it. I can't find it anywhere. Nobody ever knows what I'm talking about.
Well, if I can find you a copy, I'll send it to you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be my favorite boxing movie of all time.
So let me ask your opinion on something. I know some boxers like this, some boxers don't. What do you think about fighters that transition from the MMA into the boxing?
In what respects? Like,
well, I mean, some boxers don't like it because they think that MMA guys think that they can do it all, so they think they can just naturally just transition right into the sport of boxing. Some boxers don't really care for it. Some boxers say, hey, if they can do it, let them do it.
yeah, well, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not a fan. If they think they can do it, come on over. You know what I mean? Come on over and we'll show them. But I don't know. I always felt like MMA was a game of checkers and boxing is a game of chess. You know, I don't know. I don't like to trash talk too much, but I'm not a huge fan of MMA, no.
No, that's fine. That's an honest answer. I just wanted your opinion as a boxer. Every boxer has a different opinion of that. And, I mean, obviously, if I asked an MMA fighter for a boxer to transition into the cage, they would probably have their own opinion as well.
Well, this is the thing. With MMA, you know, the fight starts on its feet. If you don't have good boxing, then you're going to get beat, you know? But in boxing, there's no grappling or any of that stuff, so you have to have good boxing. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If they think they can cross over, all, you know, happy, go ahead, but I don't think, I don't know.
Okay, so for a fan that's not familiar with you, why should a fan come out and watch you fight?
Oh, because they're not going to see any more of an exciting fight. I'm telling you. They can relate to me. When I get in the ring, I try to, you know, it's not just a fight. It's not just two guys going to the ring. Oh, let's fight. I put on a show. I'm a showman for the crowd.
Okay, and I'm going to close with this question. Like you said, you know, you've gone through a lot in boxing, and you still got a lot more to go through. And if a kid came in the gym today and asked you for some advice on to be a boxer, what kind of advice would you give him?
Well, I would tell him that boxing is unlike any other sport, and if he wants to really get into it, then he's going to have to put his heart and soul into it. And it's not about the money. You know, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work really hard for the first little bit. But when you get past it, boxing will teach you how to be a man, unlike any other sport. Discipline, respect. It'll teach you things that you didn't know leading into it. So I would encourage anybody to get into boxing just for those reasons. Not the money. Throw the money out the window. And it'll teach you how to be a man and get through your life.
All right, and with that, I appreciate your time and thank you. And I want to give you a chance to thank your supporters and your fans before we end the interview.
Absolutely. Everybody out in Canada, shout out. And all my sponsors, I can't thank you guys enough. And I appreciate you, The Truth, for having me on here today.
All right, and with that, The Truth has spoken.